Genesis chapter 38. And it came to pass at that time that Judah went down away from his brethren and turned aside unto a certain Adullamite, whose name was Harah. And Judah saw there a daughter of a certain Canaanite, whose name was Shua. And he took her and went in unto her. And she conceived and bare a son, and he called his name And she conceived again and bare a son, and she called his name Chart. And she yet again bare a son, and called his name Shelah. And she was at Shezeb when she was bare him. And Judah took a wife for his firstborn, and her name was Tamar. And it came to pass that Judah's firstborn, was displeased in the eyes of Yahweh. So Yahweh put him to death. Then said Judah to Onan, Go in unto thy brother's wife, and fulfill the duty of a brother-in-law unto her, and raise up seed to thy brother. And Onan knew that the seed would not be his. And so, although he did go in unto his brother's wife, yet made he waste upon the ground, so as not to give seed to his brother. And it was displeasing in the eyes of Yahweh what he had done, so he put him also to death. Then said Judah to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, Remain a widow in the house of thy father until Shelah my son grow up. For he said, Lest he also die like his brethren. So Tamar went her way and remained in the house of her father. And when the days were multiplied, then died Shua's daughter, Judah's wife. And Judah consoled himself and went up unto his sheep shearers, he and Harah, his friend the Adamite, towards Timnah. And it was told Tamar, saying, Lo, thy father-in-law is going towards Timnah, to the shearing of his sheep. So she put off from the garments of her widowhood, and covered herself with a veil, and wrapped herself up, and sat down the entrance of Enam, which is by the way towards Timnah. For she saw that Shelah had grown up, and she had not been given him to wife. And Judah, seeing her, reckoned her to be an unchaste woman, for she had covered her face. So he turned aside unto her by the way, and said, Grant it, I pray thee, let me come in unto thee, for he knew not that she was his daughter-in-law. And she said, What wilt thou give me, if thou shouldst come in unto me? And he said, I will send a kid of the goats from the flock. And she said, Wilt thou give a pledge until thou send it? And he said, What is the pledge that I shall give thee? And she said, Thy signet ring, and thy guard, and thy staff that is on thy hand. So he gave them to her, and came in unto her, and she conceived by him. Then she arose and went her way, and put off her veil from her, and put on the garments of her widowhood. And Judah sent the kid of the goats by the hand of his friend the Adamite, and to receive the pledge of the hand of the woman, but he found her not. So he asked the men of her place, saying, Where is the devotee, she that was in Anam by the way? And they said, Then hath been here no devotee. Then returned he unto Judah, and said, I found her not. Moreover also the men of the place said, There hath been no devotee. And Judah said, Thou must take it to her, lest we become a contempt. Lo, I send this kid, and thou hast not found her. And it came to pass that 3 months after, it was told Judah, saying, Tamar, thy daughter-in-law, hath been guilty of unchastity. Moreover also, lo, she hath conceived by unchastity. Then said Judah, Bring her forth, and let her be burnt. When she was about to be brought forth, then she herself sent unto her father-in-law, saying, By the man to whom these belong have I conceived. And she said, Examine, I pray thee, to whom belong the signet ring, and the guard, and the staff, these. So Judah examined them, and said, More righteous than I, for as much as I had not given her to Shelah my son, and he knew her again no more. And it came to pass at the time of her travail that, lo, twins were in her womb. And it came to pass when she was in travail that one put forth a hand, so the midwife took the bound around the hand of a crimson thread, saying, This came first. And so it was that no sooner had he withdrawn his hand, that lo, his brother had come. And she said, Wherefore hast thou made for thyself a breach? So his name was called Perez. And afterwards came his brother, on whose hand was the crimson thread. So his name was called Zerah. This is the word of the Lord.